a gift from Hashem. Be vigilant, be aware. That's my first lesson. The second lesson I think you can take from here. Number 2. I spent 5 years on Shlichut in Sydney, Australia. Everywhere I've gone in the world, I've turned on the television. I read in the newspapers. I hear on the radio, do you know? They say that we love killing little Palestinian children. You met us. I want you to take a message back to your communities. I don't do this because I love killing. I'm not involved in an elite counter-terrorist unit because I'm filled with hate. In fact, the exact opposite. I'm filled with a deep, deep sense of love. I love this country. I love the people who live here and the people who come and visit. You see, guys, I don't really care what's written in any of your passports. You should know, for me, that's just a little piece of paper. It means nothing. I want you to know where you're standing now. Here, this is your home. It's been your home for hundreds of generations, and it's still your home today. I know you weren't born here, you don't understand the language. This is home. I've got a principle. My principle is when someone comes home, they should feel safe. If you're not going to be safe in your own home, then where are you going to feel safe? I want Jews to come home to their own country, to learn Torah, to go to the Kotel, to go to a mall or eat in a kosher restaurant. And I want you to do all these things feeling safe. That's what motivates me. I wish I could tell you that my terrorists are also motivated by love. Think that's true?
Nope.
The terrorists I've encountered are filled with so much hate that I don't even know how to describe to you guys. Maybe you heard of a terror attack on a family on a Friday night in a little place called Itamar. Fogel family, while they were asleep, 11:30, 2 terrorists went into their house with knives and killed the family while they were sleeping. These terrorists managed to escape into an Arab village. When they were in that village, they started boasting about what they had done, showing the blood of a family in their hands. We had a secret undercover agent, Israeli, in that village. He heard what they said, verified the information, gave us their location in a sting operation, and we went and arrested these 2 terrorists. I was part of the team who took them back to the house where they did all the killing. You know why? Why did I take them back there? Because I wanted to see how I failed. My unit is sworn to protect civilians. How is it possible that a whole family was killed and these terrorists were able to escape? I wanted them to reenact the terror attack. I took them back to the house. Do you think they wanted to cooperate with us? They were so pleased. With a big smile on their face, they wanted to show me each detail of how they massacred a family. I handed the first terrorist a knife made out of rubber. I followed him into the first bedroom. It was horrific. On the floor there was blood, on the bed, on the walls. He showed me how he went from bedroom to bedroom killing a family. When they were done, they left the house. Because when they were outside, they heard a baby crying. This was a 6-month-old little girl. The parents couldn't help because they were killed. But these terrorists realized they had missed out somebody. Following the crying of this baby, they went back into the house for a second time. They walked down the corridor, following her crying, until they found her little mattress in the corner of one of the rooms. The second terrorist showed me how he held the infant still. So the first terrorist took the knife and slit her throat. I don't understand. Because when I turn on the television, they say that I'm the barbarian. I am the monster. And what do they say about these terrorists in the news? They call them freedom fighters. You met us. You met Sharon, a colonel, a religious man. You met Eitan, you met me. You want to know a little bit about me? Yes, I'm on a counter-terrorist unit. I'm also privileged to be an instructor here on this counter-terrorist academy. One of the best in Israel, but I'll tell you guys, I only work here part-time. You know what I do in my mornings? I run a special needs program. I found that guys with Down syndrome, autism, weren't allowed into a regular yeshiva. No one would accept them. So I set up a yeshiva that allows special needs to come to Israel to learn. For an entire year, I've got a boys and a girls program. That's my mornings. In my afternoons, I'm in, as Sharon told you, I'm in Kollel. I've been in Kollel for 6 years now doing my smicha, doing my rabbanut. I've got 1 exam left. I just want you to know what type of person I am. Number 1 in this world, I am a husband. Number 2, I'm a father, Baruch Hashem, B'li Ayin Hara, 4 beautiful children. Number 3 is I'm an educator. Anyone who knows me will tell you that I'm very gentle. But I'm gentle to a point. If someone will put my family in danger, and when I say my family, I'm talking about each and every one of you. If someone will put my family in danger, I will not be gentle. I will protect that which I care about. That doesn't make me an animal. That does not make me a monster. That makes me a person who cares. You'll do us a service if you take this message back to your communities. That's what you can do for us. Guys, I don't want to stand here and glorify guns, make them seem cool. The movies do that, Xbox. Guns aren't cool. They're not toys. I've seen what they do in combat, please. Don't think because you are on a shooting range, you are now an expert. Guys, I can live with what's happened in the terror attack. I've gone and stopped the terrorists killing little children. You know what makes me not sleep at night? More children die every year in some countries, not because of terrorism, but because of stupidity. Irresponsible gun laws. 8 children in the United States every single day die. Not because of terrorism. Because a person comes home, he leaves his Glock loaded underneath his bed. His little boy comes home, plays with the gun, points it at his brother, squeezes the trigger, and blows off his brother's face. More children die, guys. I train until my fingers bleed. No matter how hard I train, I cannot stop little children from dying because of stupidity. Please. When you leave here, please have an awareness that you don't play with guns. They're not toys. Don't look at them. You want to shoot, shoot on a registered shooting range. There's tons all over the world. In America, over here. You want to really shoot, join the Israeli army. But don't do it in a backyard and don't play with weapons. Guys, you picked up shells, some of you, on the shooting range. You actually, I want you to know your rights as tourists. You're allowed to take those shells as a souvenir. Bullets are as a criminal offense. To leave that gate with a bullet on your body is a criminal offense.
Preston.
Anthony Kay.
Victor. Harris Leader.
Joseph Kleinberg. Guys, once you've got it back into line here. Joseph Friedman. Joseph Friedman Hassan. Rafael Hassan. Isaac Witherspoon. Joy Eisenstadt.
That's 100 shekels. That's 100 shekels.
David Gottlieb.
Huh?
Saul Greenwald.
Woodrow. Right here. Watch the hand in. When I see your hand. What are you
Guys,
Steve.
if you're smoking, it'll be time. I'm not finished. Open up, guys. I want to explain what's on these certificates.
Back up, back up.
Back into line, please.
Thank you, thank you.
No, not mine.
Oh yeah, it is. And Daniel Grayback.
Me. Saul.
To certify, your name is on the top. Has completed a basic shooting training at caliber 3. My name is Steve Garr. They put me as the instructor. I don't know why. Anyway, guys, there's a man here standing in the train tracks on your certificates. This man is standing in full Israeli uniform. Anyone know where these train tracks are? We have a program where we take our best soldiers. I'm talking 500,000 Jews were killed in the Holocaust. 6 million Jews, 1.5 in Auschwitz. 6 million Jews in the Holocaust. I've got 2 words to say to my enemy. Never again. Never again. Not when we got our own nation. Not when we got our own military force. When we have our own country. Never again. Israel's surrounded by 5 countries that hate us. Guys, Hagai was standing on these train tracks when he was singing the Israeli national anthem. He got a call on a satellite phone to come back to Israel quickly. He didn't even go home. He went straight from Auschwitz to the airport to his army base. He kitted up in his uniform. He went over the procedures with his soldiers and then he led them into combat. I told you already. Commanders go in first. In the Israeli army, the colonel goes first. Everyone else comes behind him. It's inevitable that the commanders are the first to fall. Hagai went in and he was killed. He was married for less than a year. His widow was there to bury her husband. Both his parents were alive to bury one of their children. My colonel, his brother-in-law, was there to bury his brother-in-law. He also had a little sister. His little sister was 12 years old. When her big brother died, she loved him very much. So she kept this picture, the very last picture they ever had of Hagai. She kept this next to her bed. She lives here in Efrat. Until she went with her school to March of the Living. She went to Poland. She took the picture with her. You know, when she went into Poland, guys, she went to Auschwitz. She didn't go inside the concentration camp. She told me she walked along the train tracks. You know why she did that? She wanted to stand where her brother was once standing. She wanted to be close with him one more time. She told me she found the spot where he was. She sat down there and she cried. She couldn't control the tears. But she said, you know, Israelis are tough. I don't want to cry. I want to write down what I'm feeling. So she took out a pen and paper. This is what she wrote. I don't have grandparents who survived Auschwitz to tell me stories. I don't have aunts and uncles who rose in a flame to heaven. I have a brother who was in Auschwitz. But my brother did not stand here in rag clothes and fear in his eyes. My brother stood here in uniform with a purple beret on his head and bars of a captain on his shoulder. My brother did not ask what would happen today. Will we live or die? My brother wanted to provide an answer for all of us, for them and us. But my brother, like the 1.5 million people who stood in this cursed place, is not with us today. He is looking down on us, together with 6 other million pairs of eyes. He is above us in heaven. But my brother is not buried in a collective grave with thousands of people. He was not burned or dumped into a grave. My brother was buried with a flag draped over his coffin. And shots of honor, not fear, rang out over his grave. My brother is buried in Har Herzl. My brother is buried with his brothers, soldiers of the state of Israel. You know, when I read what this little girl wrote, I felt proud, because she's proud. She's proud that her brother died defending his country. Her brother died leading his soldiers into combat. Guys, Hagai died 11 years ago. 10 years after his death, 1 year ago, now 1.5. We rededicated this entire Counter-terrorist Academy in his honor. This is called the Captain Hagai Lev Counter-terrorist Academy. I was here at the ceremony. You couldn't move. Where you standing now, there were so many friends, family. Every soldier he led in combat, every soldier he trained was here, tears in their eyes. His little sister was here, now not so little. 10 years later, she's married with a kid, but she's still crying. I wanted to go up to her to give her words of comfort. I don't know what to say. I thought it was the right thing to do. I walked up to her, she looked me in the eyes and she told me something I'll never forget. She said, Steve, do you know that my big brother died protecting me, his little sister? I'm safe because my brother stood on the border and he made sure the bad people didn't come and hurt me. I can have a family today in his merit. Guys, I'll tell you, we don't like mourning more than just 1 year. That's the Jewish law. After that, we want to remember our loved ones as a blessing. Zecher Tzadik Livracha. Here's a picture of Hagai as a proud soldier leading his soldiers into combat. Guys, I'll tell you, we're very proud. Some of the superpowers of the world come here to train. In fact, some of the countries that wouldn't help us 75 years ago, they said Jews are not allowed in here. These are the same countries that come to Israel now and say, we have a terrorist problem. Will you teach us your techniques? And what do we say? Absolutely. I'll tell you guys, we're not the best because we love training hard. We're not the best because we love working. I'll tell you why we're the best. I'll tell you, when I was a little boy, I was in Bnei Akiva camp. In South Africa, I stood in this sat down in the huge hall, and we sang a beautiful song. The song was Achenu Kol Beit Yisrael. You say it twice a week when you take out the Torah, Mondays and Thursdays. This song talks about all your brothers, the entire house of Israel, wherever they may be. If they are in trouble, Hamakom Yirachem Alehem. HaKadosh Baruch Hu Hashem, He should have mercy on them. I remember being a little boy at camp, closing my eyes and praying to Hashem, Hamakom Yirachem Alehem, please have mercy on every single Jew, every single soldier fighting for Israel. One day, I made it into the Israeli army, and I'm standing on the border, defending our country, and my friend next to me, bored out of his mind, starts singing Achenu. All of a sudden, him singing took me all the way back to South Africa. And I thought about being a little boy, thinking about soldiers, and here I am standing, Tzahal, IDF on my chest, standing here singing Acheinu. I stopped my friend and I asked him, I said, Shlomo, when you sing Acheinu, our brothers, what do you think about? He said, Steve, I think about all those Jews who live outside of Israel. You know, in the diaspora, where you cannot walk around proudly as a Jew because of anti-Semitism, where there's assimilation, where it's tough to be a Jew. Shlomo said, Hamakom yerachem alehem. God should have mercy on them. Isn't it amazing being Hashem? All those little people at Bnei Akiva camp in South Africa, all the people in Australia, Canada, America, they're praying about their brothers standing on the border of Israel. And what are those soldiers on Israel borders, what are they thinking about? They're thinking about you. Must be amazing being HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We're the best in the world because we care for one another. Never again are we going to let a nation kill us like lambs to a slaughter. Not now. We're proud to be Jews. Guys, I want to thank you for coming. It was an honor being your instructor. Come back to Israel often, guys. This is your home. But most importantly, everyone, please stay safe. Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Is anybody named Saul? I still have one for Saul Greenwald.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Afrikaner. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure.
Thanks, man.
Thank you for everything you do, man.
Hey, Rabbi.
Mazal tov, beautiful. Oh,
Thank you. So they're about Rabbi. Shmuel.
Steve. Yaakov.
Steve?
My parents also.
Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure.
Much Hatzlacha.
Yes, I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Well done, man. God bless. Keep it strong, man.
Thank you for inspiration. Thank you. Thank you very much. Absolutely.